cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. It's time again.
What up, y'all? You tuned in to the 52 Scott Podcast. This is Music Monday, and I'm your host, Slash. And with me, I got Comedian 96, K Money, Freddie G. Together, we are the Mind of Men. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, 52 Scott Podcast, on Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Scott Podcast. All right, welcome back to Music Monday. Kind of want to talk about record labels and artists today on a different level. So a lot of times, you know, these labels out here, the big labels, they make the money, and this was, you know, years ago up until before streams. Let me go there, you know. So they made a lot of money, and the artists didn't make so much. So what I'm going over today are some artists and labels that had differences, and the artists felt like the label owed them for, you know, royalties for so much. So it was a lot of it going on, you know, and it probably still is today. Even some of our known artists now had issues with labels that they were on and had to sue or whatnot. But if y'all remember Chuck D.
Chuck D, yeah. Public Enemy.
Yeah,
Public Enemy.
Yeah.
I'm just busy.
So
shout out to Chuck D.
Yeah, shout out Chuck D. He sued Universal Records for $100 million in unpaid royalties.
That is a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Recently?
Yeah, this was recently. You know, and actually, he was signed to him in 2011 he sued him. But remember, Public Enemy came in back in the early 90s. I take that back in the late 90s. I mean, late 80s. You know, maybe even 85, 86, Public Enemy was around. You know, I can't think of
the actual date,
actual years, but it was around that time. But anyway, $100 million in unpaid royalties is a lot.
That is a lot of money.
And he's suing Universal. You know, so I can feel him on that.
Oh, this is a current lawsuit.
Yeah, this is the latest of what these people. So Lil Wayne and Cash Money. So Lil Wayne sued Birdman, and he filed a $51 million lawsuit against Birdman. But he be stunting like his daddy.
51 million. So what is, you know exactly what he's suing for, like, as far as is it publishing?
I think they took care of that.
Yeah, they probably did. But I think I don't know what happened with that, but it was also another one where Birdman took, I think, more than 50% of the 100% paid to Young Money Records. But Baby kept the majority of it when it was supposed to go to Young Money, so they had an issue with that too. So it was a lot going on with that label.
With that label,
yeah.
You know, I've watched the documentary. Oh, I didn't get it. Well, I heard there were 2 TLC stories, but I watched only one, but I didn't finish it. Do anybody know how that turned out? Because I know they were talking about they had no money and they didn't have anything. Anybody know the backstory of that?
No.
No, on the TLC.
Not right off
off
the
the
top.
rip, off the top. Because it's a lot of artists that are just not getting paid.
Yeah.
Like the way they
it
are.
happens in the industry. I mean, it's part of what the industry is, you know. And the ones I'm talking about are just some of them, you know. All right, Snoop Dogg versus Death Row Records. So, of course, we know that the head of Death Row Records, which was Suge Knight, of course, did some time, you know. Well, of course, Snoop felt like, you know, Suge Knight owed, you know, him some money from record sales and stuff like that. So
Suge trying to sue him while he's incarcerated.
No,
Snoop the other way around.
Yeah, because of course he his legal papers, you know,
That's gonna be
where
kind of.
he screwed over him.
Yes, but how does that work now that Snoop owns Death Row?
That was probably it. Doesn't. I mean, this was when they had situations with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when they did have issues like that before he had Death Row, this is before that.
Right.
So I can remember also that Daz had filed a lawsuit against Suge Knight and he won.
Really?
Yeah. So
How much you have to approximately?
I don't know how much it was, you know,
But he
dollar
won.
amount. And same as Snoop, you know. He owned Death Row now. So
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. How's it gonna work out now? Cause couldn't Suge? I know somewhere in that paperwork, Suge name on something. Couldn't he come back and say, "Hey, you owe me Snoop for such and such yada yada"? Cause I used to own it.
well,
We didn't go through the full paperwork. I'm in jail, so
when he bought Death Row, he bought all of the rights to all the Death Row songs.
Yeah, if he gone 100% of the shares, it's his.
Yeah.
Shit.
So it's
Majority shares.
yeah, really nothing he can really do. You know. So Joe Budden goes against Def Jam Records, and seemed to me like Def Jam would have been, you know, right on with the way they do business. But again, we never know what some of these contracts be that these artists sign. So before we can judge what the situation was or why they didn't get their money, it could have just been what they signed, you know. And most of the time, that's what it all boiled down to.
Something they sign and didn't understand.
you know what I think it boils down to? I think it boils down to, all right, I signed this contract. Just say I signed a contract. You stay with me 3 years, $3.5 million for 3 years. But in that 3 years, I may bring you in, just say I bring you in $850 million, but you only paying me $3.
Yeah.
I think when people step back and take a look, man, I just made you $850 and you giving me $3.
Yeah.
It'll make you be like, well, no. Just you would think some companies be like, you know what, you kind of made us a little bit more, so let's renegotiate. But they be like, nah, we just gonna keep giving you this $3. Thank you for this $850. I think if companies would come and say, you know what, you kind of made and renegotiate without even going to the artist or entertainer and come to them. Honestly, I think we wouldn't be having these problems. But the problem is sometimes they end up capitalizing way more than what they projected and don't want to break no bread.
Right. A lot of times, you know, these labels feel like it. But again, we don't know what the paperwork say. It's always something, you know, legal buying into that some kind of way. But Wiz Khalifa goes through it with his label, Rostrum Records. And Wiz Khalifa actually signed to this label at 16 years old. And since then, Wiz Khalifa felt as if the label owed him $1 million in punitive damages and legal fees from just the lawsuit itself. You know, so
Yeah, because them legal fees can get high.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know, so he feel like they owe him for that. So that's not really no whole lot, but it's what he feel. You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
to me, time, you can't get back time. So if you wasting my time in court and whatever, you know what? You wasting my time, you finna pay for that. I kind of feel him on that. I do. You wasting my time, I gotta get
Now,
paid.
here's the thing, though. These artists that are suing these record labels, and rightfully so. If you're messing over me, you know, give me
just give me what you owe me.
Yeah, so I understand suing, but what I question is, how did you get to that point? You at some
Right.
point you had to sign a contract.
Yeah.
And what was up with your business savvy
Right.
when you signed that contract?
Yeah.
So
Now you got to fight your way out of it.
technically, you kind of put yourself in a
in it,
position,
yeah.
and now you're angry. So shouldn't the artists be held accountable?
Yeah, they
you
should.
know,
But-
they're
I
happy
agree.
one signing quick, fast, and hurry
Yeah.
because they're thinking, okay, I done made it. You
Right.
know, but they signing something that they don't clearly
That's
understand.
exactly
And
what
like you said
yeah.
earlier,
I
9
agree.
times out of 10,
It's something you signed,
Right.
You
So-
know,
so let me-
some
let me-
legal bond in there that you signed that you overlook.
So look,
So I'm sorry, comedian.
Go ahead.
real quick. So I think that a lot of that has to do with artists not having attorneys.
Yeah, of course,
You're so hungry
for the money.
right.
that you
And a
go
fame.
in there,
Yeah.
that you go in there and you display your talent, however you do it. You may rap on the spot for somebody. You may
Right.
sing on the spot for somebody, and they say, "Okay, give me a call on such and such a date, whoever you're performing for." And then you go there. Then you give them a call. They say, "Well, why don't you come by the office?
Yeah.
I like what you're doing. You're really hot. Go ahead and sign this, and we'll get your record out as soon as we can."
and
Yeah,
all they heard was, we'll get your record out.
And not only that, we're gonna give you an advance of about $5,000.
Yeah,
And-
you know what?
and-
you know
and,
what?
you know-
a lot of times, man, when you sit back and you think about because I'm listening to the artists that he's naming, man, they wasn't getting no advances like that back then.
Not then.
Not back
Not
then.
back
they wasn't
then.
getting them
Those are
like
more-
Chuck D. Come on, man, how much advance did he really get? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, no. The older ones were probably
Yeah,
getting
but listen to the
advances.
artists that he named. Look at Snoop. Come on, man.
Snoop.
You think
Nah, they were-
Suge
Right.
Knight really just gave them I mean, you probably gave him a little something, but
little
but
something.
I'm talking about
Yeah.
major advance
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah,
Nah.
not no
Now,
major.
Wiz Khalifa, you 16 years old, man.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. 5,000 be a lot to a 16-year-old.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But
And if he didn't have the right lawyer, just like you said, at 16, 5,000. Oh man, I'm finna go give me a nickel.
I get your point. I get your point. They lured him with the
They
money.
lured him with the money at
with
16.
the money, and yeah, I get you. there. I
Yeah,
get
so
Yeah,
you know,
of course.
it was 7,500. What? 16?
Yeah.
you. I get you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that'll get you every time. I don't need my mama here. Oh, you don't? Oh, sign this right here. Oh, I don't need no lawyer.
he can't sign that contract at
No.
16
Yeah.
years old.
Listen,
He would still need a legal guard.
He have to have a legal guardian. His
Legal
parents
guardian,
signed
okay.
that.
Then too,
They didn't look over it.
Yeah.
then too, man. When you got, it's sad to say, man, but a lot of black artists, man. Perfect example, New Edition. When they were kids, man, you know, they got messed around for what they, you know, made, but their parents, they didn't know any better.
Right.
You know, and the manager, they didn't really know any better, so they just go and sign and thinking that, okay, this is it, but really got screwed.
Well, because
Yeah.
somebody else knew something
Yeah.
Yeah.
that they didn't know.
Uh-huh.
Somebody didn't tell them.
So I don't. That's why I
You
don't
know.
understand why these companies, when they start making this bread off the, why can't they just be honest, man? Look. We need to renegotiate
because
your contract because you.
In order for you to graduate from school, you have to pass your classes, right?
Yes, you do.
So if you haven't took your research on this, what you in, how am I supposed to give you that game?
Well,
And here's even swap ain't no swindle.
yeah.
See, you gotta think, man. It's like, okay, man, look, we doing business. I'm gonna offer you something.
Yeah.
You want it?
You want it? You want
Just like you go to the car lot.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
this car look good.
Yeah.
It's all on the outside. You don't know it's a lemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all this, man, this look good. This thing got rims on it.
Yep.
As soon as you
No
get
warranty.
you get that thing for about, let's say the warranty and 90-day warranty.
Yeah, you got 90 days.
Yeah, you got
You
that.
get old with that. I got a car like that before.
Yeah.
I got not even a half a block. It broke down before I even got to the light.
Hey, but the even swap ain't no swindle.
No.
We did it.
Agreed
Yeah,
to it.
You
you right.
agreed to
Agreed.
it.
Right.
Man, you messed over me.
But it was in the fine print. You didn't read it. Or you didn't
got
know what it said. It said something and you didn't know what that said, and you
Right.
didn't say, hey, tell me what this means.
You read it, just didn't understand.
Didn't understand it.
You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? And that's what happens. And at that point, your mentality should already tell you, man, I don't know what this means. Let me have somebody look at this.
Yeah.
Rather than just say, okay, I'm going to just sign it. Because that little slip right there might have been the one to get you caught.
You just signed
know,
away your publisher.
You signed away everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's
You
true.
And it'd be hard to believe, some of these artists went through this, but we can remember back in the day, we heard something about Mason Bad Boy, Mason Puffy.
Yeah. Back
So,
in the day.
They had a situation, and then, believe it or not, Mace came back after a while, after leaving. So obviously Puffy agreed to whatever the payments or money or whatever it was.
You know what I believe that was? I don't know, but any artist that got screwed over by somebody, and then you leave, and you come back to that same person,
Yeah.
it may appear that that person that y'all made amends and that person made it right. I think all that person did was the money that they stole from you, gave you a little portion of that to make it right. Here you go, man.
Yeah.
And come on back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he only gave you the money you earned from the jump.
From the
Right.
yeah.
And now I ain't finna get some more
Now
money
you
out.
finna get some more money.
But
off
think
of
about it. They probably back in that state where they need it. They
Yeah.
back with square one. Well, okay, so now you gave me 7,500 when I was younger. Now you giving me 150,000. I need it because my bills are this 150,000. So really, you're right. That is kind of jacked up. I just don't. It's not right. Pay people from the beginning. Right.
Yeah, it'd be crazy. And then and the Locks had the same problem with Bad Boy. So, he's been kind of
And I think if
a lot of artists.
I think if Biggie was still alive,
he
would
had
have
the
ran
same.
through those same.
I said
Eventually.
that. I said that
Wow.
to myself.
He ran
Biggie
over
would have
some-
been in the same
He would have
situation,
the same.
like all of these people, man.
Yeah.
He was part of it. Now it just makes it easier for him because he ain't got to take it.
He ain't got to do
And
it.
don't Puffy got that new little thing going on? I don't know that lady's name. She had a little video that was
Yeah,
out.
he just came out with something, I believe, either last week or
Yeah.
coming out this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a lady that she's saying, "Hey, don't take that little $900. I'll give you the $900. Get on Hulu with me. Get on here. We gonna. I think she want to do a case on. I don't know the whole story behind it, but it is involving P Diddy. So
Yeah.
and everybody on the record label. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot. And also, again, Dr. Dre versus Ruthless Records. Remember
can
the
see
story
that.
of
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I remember them going back and forth.
But you know what? Man? Any artist that really truly paid. Not saying that there's others that didn't pay dues, but Dr. Dre is one of those guys. Every blessing that he's received in what he sits at monetarily now, he deserved that, man.
Yeah.
Because he was. But him and Q, they was NWA.
Right.
Yes.
And not to take nothing from Eazy and
Or
his,
DJ
and
Yellow,
his
none of that.
sound
Yeah.
and delivery of when of the lyrics that Q was writing. Not to take nothing from Ren and his writing skills
Right.
or whatever, and those other guys. But Dre, man, for him not to make the money off of Ruthless like he should have made,
Right.
and then turn around and go to Death Row and walk away from all of that.
Yeah.
But to create your own and become a billionaire,
Yeah.
or whatever, or close to a billionaire, or whatever, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're a billionaire, but
Yeah.
making a lot of money.
Well, close. I thought he did make that $1 billion off those headphones. That's when he made
I
it.
thought he did too, but I don't know. About
If he
that,
didn't,
man.
he got close
He
to
was
it.
close
to it,
to
but
it.
not.
I don't,
Some pennies off.
Yeah, anything that begin with an M,
yeah.
I'll take it. It ain't got to be a bill. Yun. I'll take $1 billion too. I ain't mad at that.
And okay, Twister.
Twister?
Yeah, he was up against his company. He was signed with Creators Way Associated Labels. So he was suing for something.
Mm-hmm.
He filed for bankruptcy and was suing. No, he was facing $150,000 in damages court costs. So I don't know what Twister did, but Twister was hot at one while.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, just because you hot don't mean you got the bread.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
why I
that's
say,
true.
you know, it's a lot different now because streams don't pay you like these record sales these people was getting, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, you still get paid for shows and
But
stuff
here
like
what's
that.
crazy. Somebody getting the money from streams.
Oh, of course.
Because this thing, how much a stream cost?
They don't know. They can't calculate.
So look, it's under a cent. It's less than a
That's
penny.
penny, yes.
No. Like if you are just a regular Joe Blow and say, you know what, I like this artist. I want to go and stream that artist's music. How much do you have to pay to do that?
I think that depends on the streaming company that
Okay,
you're streaming
so
from.
on average, for that streaming company, just throw a number out there. How much do you think that'll be?
It's probably, I don't know.
99 cents,
it might
$1.
Be, it might be per download.
Per stream.
Per download.
It's
Yeah.
like a half
You know?
of cent per.
No, not that goes to the artist. I'm talking about this company who you're using.
The charge.
Somebody
The
just
charge.
said-
What do they charge for that?
I couldn't tell you.
I could have swore. I heard it. I could be wrong. It's something like 5 cent, 5 or 10 cent. Something like it's really low. But then the artists get that a half a cent.
Yeah,
of
I'm not
that.
even
Something
talking about the
small.
artist.
It's
Right
something
now,
really small.
I'm not even talking about the artist. I'm talking about whichever platform you're streaming your music from.
Mm-hmm.
You have to subscribe or do something with that platform, right?
Yes.
How much does it cost to get access to that music from that platform?
So let's just say if you prescribe, your prescription was
Subscription.
Yeah.
Yes.
$19.99
$19.99. Okay. So if your subscription is $19.99
a month.
a month, so we're gonna round it up for math purposes, $20. And now you pay them $20 a month for a whole year. What's the math on that, Comedian 96?
20. If you carry the one, $240.
Y'all agree?
That's about right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So $240.
Yeah.
Now that $240, that artist should get some money, right? Let's say, so this company is making all this money. It seems to me that the artist should sue the company
Yeah.
that got access to the streams, and it tells me that the people that got access to the streams, the streaming where you
Owners.
buy the
Yeah.
owners of the stream, they dealing with the record label because the record labels may own the masters of this stuff.
Or you own them yourself because now you basically uploading your own stuff.
Yeah,
You know, it makes it's so much easier now to just get your music on there. So
Yeah.
it's like open to the public.
so okay, so if you're getting your music on there and you own it, and you own the masters to this, and you're doing this, you should get that. That's what I'm trying to say. It seems like the lawsuit shouldn't be hard.
Right.
It seems like you should know who to target and go after.
But
I mean,
again,
that's the same reason we can't sample anything, like I was saying earlier,
Right.
copyright, right?
copyrights.
So, like Freddie G saying, I would think the lawsuit would be pretty simple and
It
easy.
should be. You're right. It should be, but in most cases,
There's a lot of hands in the pot right now.
well,
so you got,
I guess the key to that is having to go through it to get to it, in a sense, you know. So the label is making it hard for you to get the money the way you really should, which is still not fair. I mean, I'm not trying to say that it's fair to do it, but sometimes that's the game they play.
yeah.
You know, I'll wait to give you your money. I'm gonna hold on to this for you, or whatever they may say. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what
Somebody
it
getting rich because if
Yeah.
it's $20 a month to stream to download this music,
is. Yeah,
and me, you, Comedian 96 and K Money, we each paying $20 a month to these people, and these artists ain't getting this money. Somebody getting rich.
Somebody getting rich for sure, and they know that. So anyway, artists out here that signed to these labels, look, make sure you read your paperwork. Make sure you get an attorney to explain your paperwork to you before you sign something, because a lot of these times you end up in situations like this where these artists are suing these labels for something that they could have possibly missed in the contract that they signed, and just had a good enough attorney to be able to turn it around. So look, y'all make sure y'all protect yourself when you're dealing with these labels.
So that's all, y'all, for this edition of Music Monday. Thanks for tuning in. Come back tomorrow and check out True Tuesday with K Money. Hit that like button, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, B52 Scott Podcast, on Twitter at 52 Scott Podcast.